Hey, how's it going, everybody? Just thought I'd give a little update, and had some things I wanted to talk about and hopefully experience with you all. I know we're all in this quarantine, and so many of us, including myself, have been indoors for a long time, not leaving our house, not experiencing the world, feeling stuck and just living our lives vicariously through computer devices and social media. And I get it. I've been there too for the last almost 2 months, but it got to a point where I said, I have to get out of here. I gotta go into the woods. I need to go home, which is where I'm at, up in the North Shore. I'm about 2 blocks, well, the trail I was on is about 2 blocks from the house I grew up in for about 17 years of my life. So it's definitely home. Anybody who knows me knows I lived in Duluth for a long time too. Now I live in Minneapolis, and in downtown Minneapolis, basically Loring Park, and it's a big difference. So I know all of you, a lot of you, are dealing with this very tough time, sitting inside with either a loved one or no loved one. It's the toughest when you're alone, and I actually can attest to that because I have been in my apartment basically by myself for the majority of the last 2 months. And I said, okay, I gotta go home, gotta visit my mom, visit my brother, and I'm back. It feels great. And that kind of brings me to the point I really wanted to focus on today is there's so much media saying people should be inside, which is understandable, but at the same time, it's like we need to realize our natural habitat. We need to realize where we come from. We are not beings that are meant to be indoors all the time. That's not a normal thing for humans. Nowadays it's become much more normalized, but if we see how much anxiety and other psychological issues sort of stem from that whole area of life indoors, we see that there's much more to it than the way we've been taught. We are inherently connected to nature. This is something we cannot escape. And it goes much deeper than that, not just the psychological standpoint of I need to be in nature so I can be happy and feel more expansive and whatever you see. Everybody, when we go in nature, there's something that we feel deep down in our mind, something that triggers in our DNA to make us feel much more at peace, at home. See, I've been in a small apartment for the last 2 months by myself, just chilling, playing Skyrim, other stuff, working on music, which is great, and talking to people on social media and seeing all the crap and the crud that just floods those freaking pages on that website. It's not healthy. It's great we have a way to source or sort of voice our opinions, voice our ideas, and communicate with others, but beyond that, it's nothing that is really that helpful, to be honest. But if we're going to look at this from a more empirical standpoint, we need to consider other factors within nutrition and just basic physiological structures of our body and how that works. Now, for one, bacteria. Bacteria is one of the most important pervading beings that lives in our body, and we are in the age of bacteria. We do not decide what bacteria does. Bacteria really dictates what we do in many ways. So it's important to understand that bacteria is the being that has the most say in all of our lives, all of our mammalian lives. Every single being basically that is on the earth lives in the age of bacteria. So we don't have that much say. Oh, I'm going down a hill, so I'll keep trying to talk, but it might have been a bad idea to keep talking while I'm on a crazy trail, but I thought it would be fun. But anyways, yes, we are in the age of bacteria. We are not in the age of humanity. The little tiny scrape of historical existence that we have for our species it's quite small. So we cannot really dictate the world, or even have the presumption of dictation as narcissistic beings. Yeah, I have a slight lisp. Sorry. Narcissistic beings that we are, we do not have much say in the whole scope of existence as biological and carbon-based life forms. Bacteria does. Fungi does. We are at the whim of that. In actuality, we really need to look at this with a critical mind and really understand that the fact that we have been controlled for a very long time. This is a very normal thing. And we are okay with that to a degree because it only perpetuates our consumerism to exist the way we do and live a happy life the way we are told to be happy. The way that happiness is streamlined. Like, that is happiness apparently. And yeah, I'm not gonna say like I'm above that. Like, yeah, I love my consumer lifestyle, but it has its edges, and it is somewhat encapsulating and sort of imprisoning in different ways. It's hard to really put a pin on. It's a specific thing, but we are in a moment now in our lives that we are actually seeing that is. We are seeing the output that is potentially negative for that, where we are imprisoned in these little tiny castles we've been given by our society, where we are told to stay calm, stay at place where we are, and that is, it's confusing for all of us. We don't know how to react to that, and I agree, I don't know either. My initial reaction was to get out of the city and get up north to my hometown and just relax and chill and get away from all the crap. I'm still social distancing. I'm not doing any weird riots or protests. Like, that's ridiculous. I strongly disagree with that, but all the answers are not clear for us right now, and it's just going to take time before we actually know what the answers really are, because this is a new situation. We've never had something like this happen. I talked to my grandparents, my mom, anybody in the last 100 years or so have not had anything like this happen. This is a very strange time. But deep down, I want to make sure, like, people are not disconnecting from nature. Please do not do that. Get outside, get into your different parks, wherever you're at. Get out into national parks, state parks. Be around trees, be around grass, long grass, as long as there's no ticks. And feel it, just enjoy it. Feel it, become one with it. Do not disconnect from nature. That is the worst thing you could probably do. 100%. I'm not even joking. We are not built to be in little tiny houses and apartments. We are meant to be in nature.